Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we want to continue our Stormblood part of the Astrologian job quest line. And we are currently in Kugane with Kyokuho here. Behind door number 2. I have some good news and some bad news, Desiree. The bad news is, a 37th reading of my great-grandfather's tomes failed to reveal anything about the bonds of the previous 36 readings had not. The good news, if you can call it that, is that we discovered where Grandmaster Kazan conducted his training when he was a youth. How does that help us? Good question. I'm still not completely certain myself, but it's more than we had the last time you were here, and an ounce of hope is better than none at all. So, what do you say, friend? Are you up for a journey across the Ruby Sea? Sure. I knew you couldn't turn me down. Still, the road ahead won't be easy. Yangsha is large, and the scars of war run deep along the Gensui chain. It may be that which might have helped has already been claimed by Flame. We'll have to place faith in our fortunes and hope they guide us through. I've decided we shall begin our search in Amai for the reason that, well, there is no reason, but you have to start somewhere. I shall meet you there. Safe journey, Desiree. Master Kazan would rarely speak of his youth, but I do recall several instances during my own training they would treat with visitors from the mainland. He did not dare ask who they were, for you were allowed to speak only when spoken to. But now that I reflect back upon those visits, it might have been that the men were geomancers from Yangsha. The air is heavy with mist, and these shacks probably let in more rain than they keep out. Something like a tome wouldn't survive a single moon here, let alone the decades since my great-grandfather's training. Still, a few words with the village elders provided an interesting bit of information. Though it required some coaxing, several were able to recall memories of robed seers who resided in a nearby temple. A temple that was in use right up until the Guardian invasion and the subsequent banning of all religion. The building, called the Swallow's Compass, while since abandoned, still remains in good repair. But listen to this. The locals avoid it for fear of disturbing the spirits with which they believe the geomancers communed. Do you know what this means? There could still be something left inside. Come. To the Swallow's Compass. The Swallow's Compass, built during the rule of the first Dormant King. I took the liberty to explore the grounds before you arrived and discovered this door. I know, it pales in comparison to that impressive gate behind us, compelling any normal thief or bandit to dismiss it outright. But then, why erect a geomantic field to protect it? I sense a flow of powerful energies here. Whatever lies behind this door, the geomancers wanted to keep it safe. In fact, there may even be traps, which is why only I should attempt the crossing of the threshold. I mean, who knows what terrible guardians have been summoned to protect the temple. Make ready. Like this one there. Ah. Well, I guess now we know what terrible guardians were summoned to protect the temple. You'll also be happy to hear I was able to temporarily nullify the barrier, granting access into the chamber beyond. As there may be more traps, I ask that you wait out here to deal with them for me. Just kidding. I've already checked. There are no more traps. Probably. Fortune is with us this way. The scrolls were intact, the barrier having protected them from both the elements and thieves. It took some searching, but I believe I was able to locate several that touch upon the laying of geomantic bonds. At least I think I was able to. The script on these scrolls is old and faded, not to mention written in a hand far beyond my comprehension. Luckily, Master Murakumo is almost as ancient as the tomes and should have little difficulty prizing out their secrets. A decanter or 6 of hot sake, I did warm to the task. I see you back in the Shirakaze hostelry. That's the way, I'll even save you a cup. Up, then up. I'll come back. The scrolls you and Kyokuho retrieved from Yangsha were not difficult to decipher. No, what has been difficult is deciding how to use this newfound information. Kyokuho, the Westerner has joined us. Might I suggest you do the same? My apologies, Desiree. You may want to sit down for this, or not. It doesn't matter. Nothing really matters, does it? The scrolls, they contained knowledge of a complete ritual. In fact, it was the very first one. Just our luck, right? Wind, water, earth, creation of a bond calls for the energies of all three. Of this much even a thirsty novice of geomancy could tell you. No, what gave us pause was the mention of a fourth energy. An energy to render the seal permanent. Kyokuho. Life. Don't you see, Desiree? They spilled living blood to complete the ritual. They damned the soul to an eternity without peace, so that the magic would not fade. I now understand why Grandmaster Kazan left no notes of the rites. He did not wish this knowledge to fall in the wrong hands. Because he never performed the rites himself, the bonds anchoring the barrier around Kugane were never completed. And that is why they require constant attention. No blood was spilled to make them everlasting. My great-grandfather would not sacrifice even a single life to achieve his ends. Neither will I. That's enough, Kyokuho. It will be time to think on this with a morrow. Return to Kugane Dori and see if you can find some solace in sleep. I do not fault my master for keeping this dark secret from me. The burden would have been far too much for me to bear. But then, why tell Kyokuho's grandfather? I failed, just as did my great-grandfather, and my grandfather after him. You all knew the one means of creating a flawless barrier, and none of us could bring ourselves to do it. And lo, the bonds we fortified but several nights past already have they begun to loosen and fray. They were weak for overlong, allowing Kinko to regain her strength, to mend her wounds, to feed her anger. And now there's naught we can do but watch as she gathers her minions for a final assault on the land she once ruled. Kugane does not stand a chance. Now would be a good time for us to stumble across what hope Lady Weaver's Weaving promised would be at the end of this road to destruction. Foxfire. Desiree, thank the stars you're finally here. It's been almost 4 bells since Master Murakumo left on his daily inspection of the bonds. He most likely just stopped to warm his belly along the way, but I can't help wondering if it's something worse. Will you let me search for the old man? We can start at the closest shrine in Rakusui Gardens. Alright. Well, look what we have here, boys. The Pretender's back with his Asian lapdog to do whatever it is they're doing. Tell me again, what exactly is it you're doing? Not here, but 2 beats of a heart, and I'm accosted by Okudo and his merry band of minions. I'll handle these 3 while you search yonder for Master Murakumo. Well, any signs of him? Nope. Where could he be? You don't suppose he tried anything foolish, do you? The bonds as weak as they are, any manner of disturbance could rouse the golden fox, and the master is no longer of an age to defend himself. Defend himself against what? A maid could walk the streets naked and unattended, carrying a gold-filled sack, not have so much as a finger laid upon her. Or are you spreading more lies about angry spirits to sow fear, so he might offer your protection in exchange for a boogie's ransom? I've done no such thing. I merely bid my fellow geomancers aid the city in its time of need. Not once have I asked for compensation for what I seek. If anything, it is you who seek to prey on the citizenry's ignorance. So says a talentless hack who waves his great-grandfather's name around like he does his member. Your lies are growing stale, Kyokuho. Continue spouting them, not only do you sully our craft, but the very legacy of Grandmaster Kazan. What would he say to this nonsense? Are you even listening to me? Why does no one listen to me? All I desire is to mend my great-grandfather's magics and save Kugane. I do not seek coin, I do not seek fame. Why is that so hard for you to grasp? We're wasting our time here, Desiree. Let's continue the search for Master Murakumo at the Westerly Shrine. Yes. Master Murakumo, are you hurt? The bond was nearly undone. I tried to, but Kinko, she's here. She's already through. We need to perform the blood ritual. It's the only way. No, I already told you. My great-grandfather spurned the spilling of innocent blood to complete the seal, and so have I. Besides, even if we were to conduct the ritual, there's no one to sacrifice. Then I shall be the sacrifice, Kyokuho. For the many years since your grandfather passed, my sole purpose has been to find the means to mend Kazan's barrier. It would be the greatest honor knowing that with my death I might not only save the city, but be granted the opportunity to watch over it for eternity. No, I can't let you die, Master. Listen to what you're saying, Kyokuho. You cannot let me die. I want to do this. It is my decision to make and mine alone. Let not the selfishness in your heart distract you from what needs to be done. You're wrong, Master. There must be another way. There is always another way. There's always hope. Right this way? Tell me, how do we save Kugane? I don't like the answers they give in the Astrologian questline. Really not. The answers I can give, it's nonsense, really. Use astrology. Stop focusing on ones and look to a fox. What do you mean, Desiree? What she means? I'll tell you exactly what she means. Lady Leveva, why did you... Lady Leveva? Your powers of observation never cease to amaze me, Kyokuho. Aye, it is me, in the flesh, fresh off a galley, put into port this very morn. The symposium was a rousing success, the vault quick to realize the benefits my school's wisdom could bring when applied to the rebuilding of Ishgard. It was even decided that several new courses in Charlian astrology at the Scholasticate starting next term. And so, with my father's dream fulfilled, I was finally free to pursue whatever I wished. I wished to learn more of geomancy, so here I am, not a moment too soon by the looks of it. In the few bells I spent exploring the city for leads as to your whereabouts, I learned much and more about our pretender, this end is nigh advocacy, so I began testing the bonds of this barrier myself. It did not take long to realize that it was Kyokuho who was speaking verily, and his detractors were true pretenders. So, you'll help us mend the bonds? But how? Desiree and I already tried using energies drawn from the heavens that only worked to delay the inevitable. The Guardian Spirit's strength has grown so great that the only thing that might hold her now is a new barrier anchored with bonds of lifeblood. But this I cannot allow. As always, Kyokuho, your hasty charge into a difficult answer blinds you from the simple solution. You're right to harness the power of aspected benefic, but you fail to grasp its true potential to bring succor. For so long you focused on mending your great-grandfather's bonds, when you should have focused on Kinko herself. If her wrath can be quelled, then a barrier will no longer be needed. So you're saying that if we use the power of the stars to soothe Kinko's wounded heart, we may convince her to stay her attack? Giving you time to relay your great-grandfather's bloodless bonds, but it will only work if Kinko is weak and the manifestations of her soul's scars cleansed. Right, so we only need to... Wait, won't attacking Kinko and the spiritual minions simply anger her even more? Before something can be healed, it must first be hurt. It is a sound plan, Kyokuho. And if it turns out you still require a sacrifice, There will be no sacrificing tonight, tomorrow, or ever. The stars have foretold our victory and will provide us the strength we need to see our enemy overcome. That's what I like to hear. Follow me then to Kugane Castle. The spirits are certain to be drawn there. Trust in the heavens, and always trust in yourself. The fox is a creature of the night. If Kinko is to reveal herself, it will be under the cover of darkness. The very hells have opened. Who will save us? Tenkonto? We just walked up all those steps for a final showdown at Kugane Castle. Now we have to walk all the way down to Right, mouth shut. Kinko will seek to draw our attention away from her by sowing chaos in the streets. Kyokuho, you focus your energies on the fox. That's the way you make swift work of her angry supplicants. I shall provide you both with support from the rear. Kinko is attacking the people of Kugane. We have to save them.
Defilers of the land, hearken to me. Tonight there shall be a reckoning.
She flees. We can use the time to deal with Kinko's thralls before giving chase.
What's this I smell? The blood of he who dared to keep me from my rightful domain? Kazan.
The fox thinks I'm great-grandfather. Doesn't appear she's all that thrilled to see me.
Your insolence is neither forgotten nor forgiven. It is you I shall devour first.
Hurry, we must not afford time to heal our wounds.
You will pay, all of you.
Look there, so overwhelming, so wrath and anguish that they have taken shape.
This light, its warmth. The flames within recede to the morning tide.
Trust. Forgiveness. Your anger, you must soothe it at once and for all.
As man finally learned his power need not only be used for destruction. Perhaps my guardianship is no longer required.
Now, she's ready. Kinko's calmed. Now lay the bonds and complete your great-grandfather's ritual. May the rivers of heaven and earth, wind and water flow together as one. May the currents cleanse this land of its impurities and see it ever guarded. May the wrath that once held rule be carried to the seas, where it be forgotten for eternity. It is done. Together we have saved Kugane, and with it torn down the walls that separated our two schools. This will be a day long remembered. The day a new hope was born. And the geomancer's dancing in the background. At the end of a path of disaster's hope. I'm not going to say I told you so, but I told you so. Wink. I don't know how to begin to thank you. Both of you. Normally I would say that this uncharacteristic display of humility is more than enough thanks, but I still require one thing in return for my assistance. I promise that this is not the end. Of course it's not the end, this is just the beginning. A new beginning for both geomancy and astrology. There's so much to be done. First we need to write down all that happened here today, then I need to... So this is Kugane, huh? Not bad. Junkinat? What in the seven heavens name are you doing here? I explicitly stated in my letter that you were not to follow me. Lady Leveva, I'm disappointed. You of all people should know that you wanted me to stay put. You should have rather demanded that I come. Yes, yes, whatever was I thinking? May I say that I'm honored to have before me the foremost authorities on astrology? Your display last night taught me there's still much I must learn about my own school. Something I would not have been able to do had I allowed myself to be sacrificed. Kyokuho, I wanted to apologize. There, I said it. I still despise you and that smirk of yours, but I can see I was mistaken about your being a pretender. You have talent, almost as much as I. You make a worthy rival. Coming from you, Duko. I'll take that as a compliment. Lady Leveva, under any other circumstance, I would be on a barge headed back to Eorzea this very evening to complete my training as an astrologian. But there's something I need to do first. Just as you fought to educate Ishgard of your school, I must do the same here in Kugane with mine. A geomancy unfaithful to the teachings of her masters has poisoned the city for too long. A wise decision, one that was surely not easy for you to make. Take as much time as you need, Kyokuho. See the ship righted, see the truth prevail. The stars will guide you back to us when the hour is right. Don't you worry, Lady Leveva. Give me a few summers and I'll have an entire army of geomancers trained by yours truly lining up at your desk. An entire army of Kyokuhos. What, is that a problem? This concludes the Stormblood quests. And then it leaves only the Shadowbringers one. Which actually requires to have finished Shadowbringers. The stars... Okay, but that shall be it for the job quest for the Astrologian for Stormblood. Before I end the episode, I think I'll look around what the characters are doing, you know? So here's Kyokuho and Udoko. There's much man might learn from this rival, especially if he's so forthright with sharing his knowledge. Yet if he's foolish enough to want to reveal all his secrets, I will not match that foolishness by turning a deaf ear to them. Desiree, you're still in Kugane? I thought you would have sailed back to Eorzea by now. Is there something that keeps you in our fair city? Or do you simply enjoy its pleasures too much to leave? As for me, I will require a little more time to... what did Lady Weaver say? A silver straight ship? How I despise her cryptic expressions. Just tell her, if you see her, that I haven't forgotten our promise. That's good. And... to Ishgard. We have seen quite a change in Lady Weaver since her little sojourn in the Far East. Where once one could rarely find her in her study for the wanderlust which kept her ever abroad, she now has taken to remaining within the city walls, content on guiding budding young minds to bloom. The symposium was a success, and now there is news that Kyokuho may soon return to the Phantom to resume his studies. Perhaps Lady Weaver will put us in the same classes. While I'm happy for Lady Weaver, the Vault's newfound interest in Charlene astrology has increased our workload here tenfold. Alright, that may be an exaggeration. Sevenfold then. And not a fold less. I may be hasty in my judgment of geomancy as well. Have you heard the news? Of course you have, but I tell you anyway. They have made me an assistant professor at the Scholastic. I will be teaching Lady Weaver's courses to all the young, handsome students. Oh, and the old ugly ones as well. Of course, why wouldn't I? Of course. Can we find Lady Weaver somewhere? I don't see her. Nope, can't find her. If you know where she is, tell me in the comments. Would be nice to know. Yeah, anyway, until next time, when we play more Final Fantasy XIV, I'm Ace, and don't get lost.